Let's bring in Mike Huckabee, former presidential candidate and former governor of Arkansas and Fox News contributor. Governor, Kristen was just talking about how our current president was talking about how the last president knew in August that Russia was meddling and didn't do anything about it. He said because they thought Hillary Clinton was going to win and they didn't want to rock the boat, essentially. Do you think that's what was going on?
It appears that it was, Steve, and the big question remains, why didn't the previous administration sound the alarm? Why didn't he send notices out to the election officials in all 50 states saying, be on the lookout for attempts to hack into your electronic voting systems? Why didn't he say to the entire nation, we have indications that information is being spread falsely about the election? He didn't have to say it was for or against a particular candidate, because we really don't know exactly what it was intended to do. But why didn't he say that? Because he didn't think it was a big threat. The best we know is that sometime in September he said to Putin, hey, you guys, cut it out. Now, that's it. That was all there was. And for us to now be acting like that this was the most amazing, biggest, colossal thing that ever happened in the history of American politics is absurd.
I laugh because the people are saying, why does the president keep bringing this up? It was one of the questions the press asked him. So, of course, he's got to go back there, even though he's in Poland on the cusp of his first G20 announcement, on the cusp of his first bilateral with Russia. That's what you choose to talk about. But in the big picture, I'm struck, Governor, because you're so politically savvy about the president. A lot of people talk about the president, his tweets and his approach, and they say it's so unorthodox. It's not like any other president. But when it comes to North Korea, Russia, Eastern Europe trade, and missile defense, he's very strong, but he's no bluster. There's no bluster about the Patriot missile, no bluster about LNG, no bluster about the bulk up of armed forces and tanks at the eastern border. But he's doing it.
I think that's what's significantly missed by a lot of the mainstream media. They just fail to recognize not only the economic changes that have happened in the country for the good here in America, but you mentioned the Patriot missiles for Poland. That sends a real signal to the Russians. Stand back. You're not going to be able to just come and invade Poland. The Polish people are wonderful people. They fought hard. They put up resistance against the Nazis and against communists. They were the first to be invaded by the Nazis. They later were some of the most important ones to break the throes of communism in Eastern Europe. These are people who understand what freedom means. And President Trump has, I believe, spoken to their heart, to their character, their soul. But, Brian, you point out something I think is very important. This is not a president that says, here's what the limitations are, and here's when you've stepped across it, and here's exactly what we're going to do. That's good leadership because it doesn't tell your enemy exactly what to expect and when to expect it.
Governor, was it smart of him to go to Poland? Clearly the crowd loves him there. You saw Kristen Fisher hold up the magazine, and we know that there were invitations put up on the embassy's website saying, all Poland, come one, come all, come and listen to my speech today.
We'll rush in.
He did have messages. I mean, he starts this second foreign trip basically by giving a press conference there in Poland. He had a message for Russia, several messages to Russia. You're not going to have the monopoly on natural gas. He also had a message to NATO. I'm not going to protect you. America's not going to pour money into NATO. And Poland's not going to pour money into NATO. And you can't expect us to protect you if you're not paying your fair share, too. There were several messages, but going back to my original question, was it smart for him to start this second foreign trip there in Poland?
I think it absolutely was for a number of reasons, some of which you just outlined. But look, let's put it this way. I don't care if you're a politician or a rock band. You want to go where the crowd wants you to be.
That's right.
And in Poland, he's able to go there and say to them, hey, thank you for paying your fair share of NATO. Most of your neighbors don't, but you do. He can say something very positive, and I think our relationship with the Polish people is strengthened by this. And again, I want to say, the Polish people are an exceptional people. Their culture, they're hospitable, they're good to Americans, they're wonderful people, and I can't think of a better place for Donald Trump to begin this tour than Poland. I'm glad he did it.
How about the close-up of Mayor Rudy Giuliani? I don't know if you could see from your monitor, Governor, but we have not seen the mayor from New York City. in quite some time, and he popped up in Poland.
So he's in attendance there. Governor, apparently, as we look at some of the live pictures out of Warsaw, they are there at the War Memorial, and they're going to use the story of the Polish resistance as a new rallying cry for the Western civilization. It's a monument to the 150,000 Poles who died trying to drive the Nazis out of Warsaw. So that's the big speech that he's going to give in about 20 minutes. One of the issues he did address, though, during the brief bilateral press conference was the whole CNN logo smackdown tweet that the whole planet seemed to have a meltdown over a couple of days ago. People either thought it was hilarious or horrific. Here's the president's answer regarding fake news. I want you to hear it and then get your reaction. Listen to this.
What CNN did was unfortunate for them. As you know now, they have some pretty serious problems. They have been fake news for a long time. They've been covering me in a very dishonest way. Do you have that also, by the way, Mr. President? But CNN and others, I mean, not others, NBC is equally as bad, despite the fact that I made them a fortune with The Apprentice, but they forgot that. But I will say that CNN has really taken it too seriously, and I think they've hurt themselves very badly. Very, very badly. And what we want to see in the United States is honest, beautiful, free, but honest press. We want to see fair press. I think it's a very important thing. We don't want fake news. And by the way, not everybody is fake news. But we don't want fake news. Bad thing. Very bad for our country.
It is indeed, right, Governor?
Well, if I had time to put on my Captain Obvious suit, it would be simply to say the reason he answered that question that the press is going to criticize him for is because they asked him the question. Right. So why are they upset about it?
You're exactly right.
Question.
He also said that he's been bullied. He said CNN says we've been bullied by this president.
Yeah, you know, that's really amazing when the television network is afraid of the president speaking to them. Maybe they should grow up.
There you go. All right, Governor Mike Huckabee joining us today. Sir, thank you very much.
Thank you, Governor.